1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then that is our version here at the Hit Music Studio for the holiday classic Carol of the Bells. And I wanted today to do a live stream as a way to almost, I guess, encourage you guys to learn some holiday music. Now, of course, we're in December at the time of making this video. And I really believe that it's a great opportunity to learn music that we are all familiar with, but that at the same time, I think is one of those things that the music of the holidays provides a very specific, almost like challenges and at the same time nuances that we normally don't see in a lot of the music that is current right now. Let's say pop and let's say some of the stuff that is, I guess, popular. And I think it's very interesting to take advantage of the holidays to learn some of these pieces because every year they're going to come around. So it's almost like if we encourage our students to try to learn multiple of them and probably perform them for your family and friends. I've been reading a lot about Beethoven's life, and it's been very interesting to see how much music played a part of the social circles back then. And it's almost like back then you couldn't have music unless someone was playing it, and a lot of people played music at a professional level, but maybe some amateurs as well. But I think when there was like a gathering, there was a lot of like, let's make music, let's play together. And I think that's something that nowadays we have iPads, we have YouTube, and you guess show to someone's house, and of course you're gonna just go on YouTube and you can play some music for them or any of the streaming services. But I think it's very cool to actually make music and a very cool opportunity to make music with your loved ones. So I want to talk a little bit about the arrangement. This is a new arrangement for us. So it's a very cool piece in itself. I actually had to do some research into what this was originally, which I guess I didn't know that it was originally written for choir. But a couple of little things. Use the beginning of the video. So if you're catching this in the live stream, wait until it's over so you can see the actual piece because I played it there completely at the beginning. So you can use it as a reference, so you can learn it from there, and you can use it as a play along. That's usually what I count as well. So you can start with me and try to play with it. At the same time, let me mention a couple things. I think the beginning pattern, you definitely want to use finger 3 on B flat. So one of the things that I see now, and I'm learning a bunch of different pieces recently, fingerings are, in my opinion, everything. If you have the wrong fingers, it's almost like you're dead in the water before you even before you even start. So I sadly believe that so much music, especially music that is challenging, you have sheet music for it, but it has a couple of numbers here and there for the fingerings. And if you don't know, we have fingers 1, the thumb, and 5 would be the pinky. And lately, I've been doing these arrangements for my students in which I put all of the notes with the fingerings because if not, they tend to get confused. So if you just there's 5 notes, 8 notes in a passage, and you just put one finger on them, like one fingering, it's very easy for people to get confused and assume incorrectly what would be the best way. So we're trying as a studio to make sure that people actually have all of the information, so when they get started, they do correct fingers. On this one, I would say finger 3 on B flat. And get that pattern like almost steady and stable before you start anything else. Now, when you start this little run, you're gonna do finger 1 on G, then 2 on F, 3 on E flat, and D. You don't want to do that with the same finger; it wouldn't make any sense. Now, on the next line, we're gonna have a couple of almost like 2 notes on the left hand, not super hard. There, you do have to move your hand. Now for the next section, which we're trying to move the pattern, this piece in itself into, I guess, to what I heard, and I checked the original arrangement. It's almost like stacked. You keep stacking voices and different, like almost like lines on top of each other. It's hard to do that with piano. It's hard to do that if we're trying to make an arrangement for people that are fairly starting out. But what we did here is almost change, so you can do the second, almost second section, third section. Now, when you play that, I think it's very important to do fingers 2 and 4 that are a little bit stronger. So you can do. And one thing that I was using there when I played it is I'm using a sustain pedal to make it a little bit more like fluid. So if you have a keyboard that didn't bring a sustain pedal, you should definitely get one. We have a video that we recommend a specific sustain pedal, so you can check that on our channel. Lastly, I think this probably is one of the hardest parts of the next line. I would say all into the fingerings. You're doing two keys here, and then 2. But I think there you want fingers that are strong. The fingers that I play there, you use them as a reference. I think it makes a big difference. Now we have a scale, and this scale is where I see a lot of my students that have tried this almost have a lot of problems because they're not using the correct finger. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back down. The last 2 notes are quarter notes, so make sure that you don't do all of the notes the same size. That's supposed to sound very fluid. And then lastly, back to the first, I guess, motif. Very like a retardando at the very end. So I like the idea of putting this videos together, which is something new. Now, if you do have any questions, let me know. I think for us it's important here for what we do at the Hit to try to help you. I believe that for me is I'm very passionate about trying to help people. We're actually doing a couple of things next year in 2022 regarding trying to open some things for adults to be able to learn directly from some of the resources that we have as a music school. If you don't know, we're a South Florida music school with 2 locations. If you are in the South Florida area, you can take lessons with me or with someone, one of our other instructors. But we're at the same time trying to open a lot of the resources that we make, especially for adults that would like to learn. And I can tell you that the pandemic made me realize how unbalanced I was probably going through my routines, a lot of work and very little time for anything else other than work. And I realized how important it was to find things that are, in my case, music cannot be my hobby because it's part of what I do for a living, but finding things that have nothing to do with what I do for a living and using them as a space when I get home, as a space when I have a day off, to almost put my mind in a different place. And I really encourage you, if you love music, if you have always wanted to learn piano, one of the things that I see, I teach 6 days a week. I have more than 100 students a week. And it's interesting to see how many parents I feel they're the ones that would like to learn how to play. If you're an adult, it can take you maybe 2 or 3 times longer than a student that is young to learn. But why does that matter? I think if you have a program, if you want to try to learn some things and you want to try to get some guidance, I think it's beautiful to be like, okay, today I'm going to spend 30 minutes playing piano. Maybe I'm not going to get the song that I'm trying to. Maybe it'll take 3 months to get that song to sound correct. But it's like it's not about that. It's not a race. I think it's about putting your mind and spending some of your time in something that is different. So we definitely want to encourage you guys, if you have any questions or if you would like more information about us, check our main website. I want to continue to do live sessions. I'm trying to do, hopefully, a live session a week. And we're at the same time posting tutorials. Now, let me mention one more thing, which is that if you are interested in holiday music, we already have multiple tutorials. We actually have made even multiple tutorials for the same pieces, but I can recommend 3 or 4 that I posted recently. We did one on the first Noel, one on Silent Night, and one on Deck the Halls. And on those, I played at the very beginning of the video the whole piece, so you can use it as a reference. Because one thing, and I'll do it with a different piece, that I see a lot, and you want to try to avoid this. You, for example, let's say Deck the Halls. You don't want to play this. that makes no sense and that's not correct. So when I make one of my videos and I put a metronome, so I make sure, let me put this on 0, so I play it. So it makes a huge difference to learn something against a reference that at the same time is going to push you, is going to make the rhythms, okay, that's that long, the note is too long, the note is too short, than to just play it by yourself and really change the rhythms. So I really believe it's a little bit of a drag, I believe, to practice with the metronome. I do it all the time, but I've been doing this for a long time. But for someone that is starting to just put a metronome, it's a little bit too, like, kind of like, what does that even mean? But if you can put a recording of the same thing that you're trying to play that has a reference, you can really use it as a, okay, let me try it. Plus, and you probably know, you can slow down videos on YouTube. And that's a huge advantage for anything that we put it together, for anything else that you can see. Because if you're learning a piece, you can slow it down and be like, okay, let me really hear it slowly. Let me actually, if it's a video, let me see what finger he is using on this specific note. So hopefully the video was helpful to get you guys to play Carol of the Bells. If you're watching this on the replay, definitely check the beginning. We want to thank you for watching. If you have any comments, any questions regarding anything that has to do with learning piano, I would love to help you. So leave that in the comments. If you'd like to see me do a tutorial on any other holiday songs, also let me know in the comments. And we'll see you soon. And once again, thank you for watching. We're really grateful for the growth that we have seen recently, and we definitely want to continue to put some content out together to help people learn piano, but in a way that doesn't necessarily have to be so stuck up. I think like piano should be and should there's I think there's an avenue to learn piano that can be fun. What's important is that you have a good, almost like, program, and that's part of what we're trying to do here at the Hit with our students. And soon enough, we're going to give you access so you can do it at home as well. We'll see you guys on the next one.